So today's mitzvah is mitzvah 137, which is that a girl that gets married to someone which is not a girl which is a Kohen, and she gets married to somebody which is not a Kohen, she can't eat truma anymore. Truma is a special food which only a Kohen can eat. There's now truma, there's bikurim, there's many other foods which only Kohenim can eat. And if you're a child of a Kohen, you can eat too. But if you get married to a Yisrael or a Levi, then you cannot. What happens if the guy dies? What happens if the guy dies unfortunately, or you get divorced? Then she can eat truma, but she can't eat chazav v'shaik, which means chazav v'shaik is the part of the animal which the Kohen eats. Every single animal that's shlamim on the mizbeach, a part goes to the Kohen. So the daughter of a Kohen, once she gets married, if it's forever, she cannot have any part of the carbon, but she could have truma if she gets divorced or her husband dies. If she has kids from that husband, then she has to wait till those kids die. If she gets remarried to a Kohen, then she's back to Kohen status. If she gets divorced from the Kohen, then she's back to Yisrael status.
She can remarry to Kohen. Kohen can remarry.
If her husband dies, then if she has a kid from that Kohen, so then she can continue eating even after the Kohen dies. Now, what if there's a lady? First she's a girl. She grows up. She marries Yisrael. Marries not a Kohen. Now she can't eat truma anymore. Then she has a daughter. That daughter marries a Kohen. Now, that they have a child. He's the Kohen Gadol. So her grandson is the Kohen Gadol. She and everyone dies besides this guy, the Kohen Gadol. She can't eat truma because her grandson is still alive. This grandson comes from her husband, which is a Yisrael. That's very complicated, but you get the idea, right? If you have any children from the Yisrael, then you cannot have truma. If you have any children from the Kohen, you could have truma. There's another type of girl which cannot kehenes, a woman that's a Kohen that can't have truma. If she has a relation with someone, she's not allowed to, according to the Torah, or a goy. And once she has relations with them, then she cannot marry a Kohen ever, and she can also not have any truma. If a woman has relations with someone that's not Jewish or that she's not allowed to, she can't get married to the Kohen. She can't eat any more truma forever. Forever can't eat truma. Now, Yoni asked me. If you don't know who Yoni is, you'll get to know him one day. He asked me you know who Yoni is? So he asked me for today's class, we should also learn a story in the Talmud about Chet Eitzadas. He's very involved in the tree of knowledge. The first sin that ever occurred, he just texted me, thanks. And he wants us to learn a little bit after Ma'ariv about the Chet Eitzadas. So we're going to learn today the Gemara discussion, what type of tree was the Chet Eitzadas. Hashem created Adam Rishon, first man. He told him, eat everything you see, all the plants, everything. One thing in the middle, one tree in the middle of the garden, you're not allowed to touch, you're not allowed to eat. What was this tree?
Grape.
So, well, how do you know grape? I said it a few days ago. So most people say the apple.
It's an opinion that every actually fruit wasn't just the one, it was every fruit of Israel.
Okay, so in the Gemara,
seven fruit.
So in the Gemara, there's three options. One option is the grape. One option is the fig. One option is wheat. Never thought of it. Wheat, not weed. Wheat.
It was still another opinion.
Nick, over here it's three. There's three opinions. Everyone says dates, grape, and wheat.
It's an opinion that this is petrol. That's what I'm shaking.
Over here it says it could be. Really? So now,
why many people think it's an apple?
Everyone says it's an apple. I think you've heard Christians say it's an apple.
Yeah, because I think it's like Michelangelo, the other apple.
So now, why does the Gemara talk about this? Because it says in the Gemara that on wheat we make a bracha, b'yer pri hadama. So on fruits you make chayit, on vegetables you make hadama. The question is, what do you make on wheat? Is the wheat a vegetable in the vegetable family? Do you make or do you make a eight?
You eat it raw?
If you eat it raw, if you eat it the way it's not used, that only makes shahakal if you eat it the wrong, weird way. But if you eat,
Which is like if you eat it,
depends. If you live in a place where people eat wheat, then if they,
like if you live in a place with raw,
so if you cook them, you take the wheat and you cook it. You fry the wheat. You know, you say that one. If you take all the wheat kernels and you put it on a fire
cereal?
and you cereal, you roast it, or like popcorn, the concept of popcorn, right? So then you make hadama. So the Gemara is the Mishnah says that on wheat we make hadama. So the Gemara asks, obviously, what's the question? Obviously, make hadama. It comes from the ground, it's not a tree. So the Gemara says, it's not so clear. There's an opinion that the tree of knowledge was a piece of wheat, a thing of wheat. So if that's the case, we can be also considered a tree. According to Rabbi Moshe over here, he says that the reason why wheat actually is not as tall as a tree is because a punishment, but that doesn't say over here. So now we're going to learn the Gemara inside. So it says the tree that Adam Rishon ate from. Rabbi Meir says it was a geffen. It was grape. It was a vineyard. How does he know it was a geffen? Because it says there's not one piece of food, which causes so much trouble than the grape.
Well, wheat is what can make from wheat.
Here's a good point.
Yeah.
But I guess this is what the Gemara says. How do we know? How do we know that grapes cause the much trouble? You flip the pages in the Torah a little bit further. What does it say? What's the story a little bit further in the Torah? Noah. He got into a lot of trouble from the grapes, right? I mean, it was the grapes and his son, but there was a. There you go. So Mike, so you're saying a very good point. Noach wanted to fix Chava's mistake. So he drank wine to fix Chava's mistake, but he didn't fix anything. Like you saw what happened. Only bad stuff came out of it. It actually explains in the Zohar what was his trick. How was he going to fix Chava's mistake? Because Chava only drank a little bit. He said, I'm going to drink a lot. That's what it says. Chava drank like a little glass, like had a cup of wine. He said, I'm going to get so drunk, I'll fall asleep and I'll take care of all the problems. So what's the deeper explanation? Why would he think that if you drink a lot of wine, you'll fix the problem? If a little wine causes problems, a lot of wine should cause a lot of problems, right? So what's the reason? What was his logic? So it explains. Chava's problem was she was very self-aware. I don't know exactly the word in English. In Hebrew and Kabbalah it's called murgash, which means the fact that she saw something and she wanted it and it felt good and all that, it's because she was very self-aware of her will, what she feels. In general, I guess women are better at that. So Chava, because the reason why she did the sin is because she wanted it, because it looked good. She was pulled towards it. Was very emotional. So Noach thought if he gets smashed, drinks so much, he'll have no awareness whatsoever. He'll fix the problem of Chava of having when you're totally drunk. I never tried it out, but I'm assuming you can't really want something. You're just totally mixed up, right? So in order to destroy sort of himself, his ego, whatever he wants, he got drunk. That didn't work either because, like what you saw, and also it's not no big trick to get drunk and go crazy. You're not fixing yourself. You're going out of yourself. You're not fixing yourself. So, okay. So we're gonna finish with that quickly. We're gonna go back to Gemara. So who fixed the problem? Sarah fixed the problem. Sarah got happy without drinking alcohol. That's what it says. Sarah called her child Yitzchak because she was very happy. She was very, very thankful person. She had a baby. She right away got happy, laughed, and she was happy. She got happy without drinking wine. Okay. The Gemara goes further. I mean, Nehemiah says it was a te'ina. It was a fig. How do you know it was a fig? What? Very good. Because it says in the Torah, what do they wear for clothes? The fig leaves. So how do we know what's the connection?
Why not grape?
Because it says what they did a mistake, with that they got help. It doesn't explain too much in the Gemara what it is. Maybe I can look into the version, but that's what it says. Where they made the mistake, that's from there they got the help. I mean, maybe it's connected with it says in Chassidus that You have to look into your problems in order to get out of them. You can't say it. Okay. Number 3, the third opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says it was a chita, it was a piece of wheat, it was a little stick of wheat. How do you know? Very interesting. It says in the Gemara, because the tree of knowledge. There's the most important ingredient for your knowledge is wheat. Not even barley, wheat. Yes, maybe that. Then it says in the Gemara, the baby doesn't know how to call father and mother until he has the taste of wheat. Yeah. So now I'll explain it to you. It could be, okay, it's a good point, but it could be that rice is considered wheat in this case, or you could say that maybe they have a defect. I mean, no, sorry. No, one's listening. No, they don't really. Actually, I went to a Chinese when we were at a Chinese restaurant. I asked them that bread. They looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how you have the audacity to ask for bread in a Chinese place? They hate bread.
They should bread
Yeah? It's not a very Chinese restaurant.
Not anymore.
They have pasta? Oh yeah, but they have in the soup they have these like croutons, dumplings that's sweet. Yeah, there you go. So
dumplings that are wheat, and that's why Russians have breakfast. They think because Siberia used to be all Chinese until whatever, like in 16th century, some guy came and killed everybody.
Oh, but they use rice.
But,
They make the camera.
I think that's mainly like for the most part like they use like rice.
So anyway, when it says in the Gemara that when you have to eat wheat in order to call your father, or mother, it doesn't mean to say the word father or mother. It's to understand that it's your father and your mother. So of course they don't know exactly how it works and all the details, but it says also this, that from when the second that the kid eats the wheat, they can realize, so have some imagination, have the idea in their head that they come from this person, they come from this person. I'm gonna have a good night.
That's